And this is such a beautiful song. All right, let's get started. We are doing detailing. Where are we doing the detailing at? Well, we're doing it in the oil refinery. The game is still paused because, why is that? You know, that's a darn good question. Why is it? Are we interfacing with the rest of the game in any way? No, start it back up. All right then. So, here we are. This is our first port. It needs a name. I thought we looked up town names around this area. Yeah, this is not going to be... We need the name of the city that's just on the other side of the Mississippi. Well, let's see. I mean, how far up do you want to go? Well, I mean, we want to go up a little ways. I mean, we don't want the name of the town on Lake Pontchartrain or anything. You know, it's south of Baton Rouge. Yeah, there's nothing on the river over there. That is so weird. I mean, it's all swamp. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, but we don't want to call it like a New Orleans town. No, you know, we should rate that as like one of the top songs we've played on here all year. It is such a good tune. Well, we need a good southern name. The Atchafalaya. I mean, it's the name of the national park, national wildlife refuge there. Let's do it. Just something to remind us that, hey, you know what? Don't spill the oil here. All right. So, Atchafalaya Harbor, siding, landing. What do we call a... Your game volume is way louder than you. Yeah, I think people like it that way. You know, it lets them know very little I say is actually that important. That's... No, I think they're here for your music. So, yeah, that's just exactly what I was saying. Okay, the Atchafalaya Harbor siding. You know, the name is important. We're going to be saying it a lot. Why don't we just call it Atchafalaya? Alright, so you get over here to Atchafalaya. Alright, now, we are bringing oil in here. How do you think that's going to happen? Well, we've got a loop here for this station. And then we've got a loop here that lets this one from here jump out. So now they go down here and they're going up the hill. Can we soften this a little bit? Remind you now, we're doing it with our own money. Oh yeah, good point. You know, we have never done any building down here. We've never tested out the gameplay. So, and again, we're looking for, you know, realism. Are we going to leave that as a, you know, how high is this? It is a little bit up here. And it's taking us over here to field 1. Well, I guess, you know, well, first off, we have to change it. We got to go to the, we'll see if you can replace it. Yeah, we're using the girder bridge track on all the girder bridges. See, it goes way back further than you want it to. Yeah, I know. Well, it's also cheaper, though, to replace this stuff. Plus, if we're careful, we might get a little bit better path. I don't think so. Yeah, 97, 94. Wait, 97, 94. Are we going downhill? Yeah, this is the crest of the hill. Oh, man, let's fix that. Let's go from here right to the bridge. See what that gets us. 86 to 94. You know what? We are not going to 86 that option. Ba-dum-bum. But we are still climbing. They're from sea level to 94 meters. Alright, so now we're coming down here. And can we get rid of this tunnel? I mean, we could. Well, let's get rid of it. Because it's not adding anything. And it is taken away from what we're trying to build. Well, then it's gone. Okay, give us the cut. You know, every time I hear this, I think of Diablo. And is it Wurtzsong or is it the town of... What's the name of the town that Diablo is in? I think it's Diablo and Diablo 2. Wurtzleg, the guitar. Yeah, like you start out in the town and you go into the graveyard. Okay, so here is our first oil well. Alright, problems that we got to resolve here. Well, let's trim this up a little bit going out. I mean, we got enough of these. We're trying to make them look good. Alright. What are our options? Well, for starters, let's go look at our assets. Let's see what we have. Let's do a search for... Let's start with the obvious. Oil. How did we get to this page? Try it again. Oil. There we go. Okay, we've got all the industrial buildings. Chemicals. Yeah, see, we have the oil well back here. Do any of these jump at you and say oil field? You know what we need? Oh, that is... Oh, we are going to be keeping a lot of these. What about chemical 6? That's the double tank. Refineries, these are just buildings. 3. This one's nice. Yeah, but this doesn't... Although it does have the... no, that's a cracker tower. That's a vent for burning off bitumen. I mean, we got this for some pipe work. Yeah, see, all of this is... It's definitely saying refinery. What is this? Office building? A retaining wall? Can we see inside it? Well, we could if you tilted. I don't know, waste containment. It is an interesting looking building. Alright, so definitely. Yeah, but can we use this to come from out here to the station? Is sort of the question. Like, where is... Alright, so here's the pumps. There's the pump jacks. Okay, and then here's the drills. And their little buildings. With apparently handicap ramps or something. Very steep handicap ramps, if that's what you think they are. Yeah, but I think we could do something with this. Just get us over to the station. Because right now, you know, one of the first questions you have when you pull up here is, okay, how's your train going to load up on oil? And if you can't load the train up on oil, how's the train going to haul the oil? So let's get, let's answer that with a little bit of pipe work. We know we can put the pipes down here, but what's going on back here? See, it's not. It's is it straddling the building? I guess we're gonna have to straddle the building a little bit, or we put it out here. Well, you're totally messing up the road. Alright, well, we'll have to do a new road. Well, you better figure that out, because without a road, you ain't getting any catchment there. Alright, so now when the town comes out here, where are you putting the town? I mean, we got this whole field over here. Okay. And I think that's a future problem. Alright, well let's go back to your transfer pipes. Do you want to check any others? That's a good point. It's probably the same or pretty similar. I don't see any difference. You're blind. Yeah, but it doesn't mean I can't see any difference when my face is touching the screen. That's way too much. And this is the pad that the stuff goes on. It's just meant to be like a... Oh yeah, that's way too much. Way too much, people. Isn't this the same building we just looked at in the chemical plant? I think it is. A little bit of lazy work by the dev team there. A wall. You know, this we could use in so many different places. Yeah, especially if you could... Oh, we can. I wonder how would this look as a... Well, we don't need that because we're not going to... Yeah, but what about this? See, there are places in this game where I really wanted... You know, like let's say back here where we're coming around this corner. You know, with the mountain, I really wanted like a retaining wall in here. There are definitely places where we've wanted retaining walls. And we need to remember that there's a wall in the refinery. Yeah, good luck remembering. Oh, this is even better. Yeah. This could really help us for doing retaining wall work. Okay. Well, let's see what we got then. Go back to those pipe things. It's this one. Put your lens back. Oh, okay, there we go. All right. Can't tell what the difference is. We're going to bring it down a little bit so it's touching the ground. And that will, you know, bring it right up to the platform. Yeah, but then it's not connected to anything back there. Yeah, there's a no-win with this. Just, see if that looks like it's in the building. I mean, on this side, it definitely is coming out of the building. And it is over here. Does it intersect with this? Yeah, it does. You're going to have to move it over just a little bit. Okay. So, we want to be... Yeah, you want to be in the building. And you want to be touching the stack. Alright, all of our pipes on the ground? Yes, they are. Do we interfere with the stack? No, we don't. Are we coming out of the building? One of them is, the other one comes out of the ground. I mean, I guess we can live with that. I mean, otherwise we'd have to change the... If you tried to do it, the pipe would come out of the building, would come over here. Well, we could then run a row of tanks. You know what? Let's do that on the next one, just to see how... I mean, you're already at an angle. Good point. Let's do it. All right, so come out of the building here. There we go. We're just touching the building. And we're in the ground. We are in the ground. We are not interfering with the stack. Nope. We're in the roof of the building. Yes, we are. Ah, perfect. Perfect. All right, now give us a couple of those tanks. They were up here like chemical 5 or something. 4, 3. Yeah, this one. All right. Your height scale. Is there anything we can do with this? No, I think we're just getting tanks. Well, then you're gonna have to make this a little bigger. That's too big. Keep coming down. Yeah, just enough to let us hit here. That's a good point. Is definitely the word for that problem we just caused ourselves. Yeah, because you're coming over here to the hill. And we reason to be over here. Well, the other one's the same two-pipe system. You want to level the ground? I mean, if we have to. This is a detailing episode after all. Okay, flatten. Back to here. Come over here. Okay, now smooth it. Alright, now bring a tank over here. 7. 50. Okay. Yeah, see, got to make sure that you're in the ground. This is not realistic. You know. Okay, how many tanks putting up here? I don't know, I put like 4 or 5. 2, 3, and then 4, 5. Just something. You know, trains pull up. They're up here to pick up some oil, crude oil. There's some tanks up here. Okay. Is there anything we can use? Is there anything we can use out of the asset menu to get us? You know, that was Industrial Building 1. What does Industrial Buildings 6 have in store for us? Oh, there's our pump jacks. Wow. You know, yeah, I know you could. We could. These things aren't going to move, are they? No, they don't. That's a shame. Well, I guess this is the oil field back here. We'll leave things back there. They do move. Oh, see if that moves. It, was it? No, it does not. It is not the same as the building one. So, you know, if you've got a situation where you want to do, you know, like something up here, like the old one, or, you know, something way in the background kind of thing for a depth of field, I mean, that could be interesting. Alright, so now, where does this leave us? Well, it doesn't leave us with a lot. This is quarry stuff. Let's go back to oil. What is this? Toilets. Oilets. Okay, tank. Yeah, some of these are definitely refinery. You know. It's definitely, like, these would be great. But, you know, where's the vertical tanks? Wide, B, blue, the green ones, and the orange stuff. Yeah, we could definitely do some stuff with that. Well, do you want the tanks out here a different color? Any of these have ladders on them? No, they don't. That's a shame. I mean, if you go to an oil refinery, these big tanks you're seeing. Yeah, but that's at the refinery. That's not out at the field. Good point. Good point. These are definitely... I mean, that would be a gas tank. Oh, you mean like fuel oil? No, that's gasoline. I mean a gas tank. You know, like a gas product. Gaseous at atmospheric pressures and temperatures. All right. You know, this is a gas station or oil station. It is the Tank Stele. Yeah, this is... You know, there's a scenario in the game that uses this as a stopping point in a town. You know, don't ever overlook this thing. It can definitely be quite a bit of fun. You know, put it at a junction somewhere on a highway on a map. Alright, water. You know what? Put it over here. Then, we're not doing that. We need the water tower. See, this one's too modern. You know, 1900 is not going to have antennas up there. Yep. We hear you. All right. Let's put this back here for some depth of field. And what are we going to call this? We're going to call it the 001 field. No, we're going to call it... no, that's the name of the port. Yeah, see, we're getting different height objects. You come around the corner. We're getting some different views. You come in, you see some tanks up near the platform. And then here you are at the station, where we're going to have rows of tanks lined up. Alright, so interesting thing about configuring this station. I would not, as much as we love these buildings because they give us storage space, I would not be using these. Because, you know, they don't fit in with the vibe. You know, we don't have cargo anywhere. We have tanks. So I would go back. Oil. Chem 5. You know. Now let's find some piping. Ooh, piping, you say? Yes, pipe. That's the hoppers, the feeders. Why does this come in for pipe? Are we even given oil as a... no, we're not. We got a lot of industrial pipe here. What do you want to do? Well, let's close that window. Interesting. Large horizontal. Is that right or left? I guess which side is the longer? That's vertical. Straight. Smaller pipes. And what is this? Small spec something? I don't know. Not sure. Yeah, but how can we use that here? Well, the problem is its height. So, like, it's not giving us, you know, a lot of options. We have more we can do with this because we can go width and length, and we can just drop a few of these in, connecting every tank. Like, this is our longest gap here. And I think we just make it. Do we? If we don't, we're moving a tank. Alright, let's we have solved our interconnected problem. Okay, how'd you mess that one up? I don't know. Okay, let's make sure all the tanks are connected. Are these weird pipes flat? You know what? We changed the scale on the pipes, and we didn't make the pipes themselves accommodate for volume, so they turn out looking goofy. That's all us. Okay. Width. Let's get them to... they are still looking... That is not a round pipe. Okay, there you go. Are these pipes going to be too big for the... Well, one of the things you got to do is you got to lower them back down to the ground. Because, you know, you go to this is not a refinery. Yes, I understand. But you go to anywhere where they're not going to spend the cost to pump this thing up 5 meters if they don't have to. It's a huge energy cost. It's going to be there forever. So let's keep the pipes low. All right. Let's change our angle a little bit. All right, let's inspect our work. You messed this one up. And you messed this one up. Look, if it looks like crap now, it's going to look like crap later. Just get rid of it. You know, we're here doing the work. It's easier for us to clean up and oversight now than it will be, you know, later when we can't even remember the name of where we got it from. So let's clean them up now. All right, what do we got here? These all look pretty good. All right. So here's the other trick to this. This is organic. That's it. I mean, what else would I tell you? This is organic. There's nothing to this that screams cookie cutter or, you know, we're working with the terrain, you know, the position of the station, you know. So the next one of these we do not want to reference this one at all. It shouldn't look the same. Matter of fact, when we're done, we should come back and just check ourselves and see if somehow we fell into a trap of laziness. And if we do, blow it away. Start it back over. I mean, that's what you have to do. I mean, if you want these to look nice, can we get a rood through here? No. Okay. Then you're going to have to run a rood. How about back here? There you go. Stay down at ground level, buddy. Okay. Now when the town comes in, it'll go out this way. Try and keep it flat. Okay. Future town area. I mean, this is out here in the middle of nowhere. We're not running a road. All right, so this is one. Yeah, and it has a line already built for it. Okay. So how are you getting the train down here? Well, that's a whole different problem. Does that thing go up? I think it just goes up the hill. Well, this is a detailing episode. Yeah, I think we're going to need a bit of a service line here. So where is the Mopac train depot? It is all the way in St. Louis. You're kidding me. Nope, it's right here. That's the road depot. Here you go. Here's the St. Louis train depot for Mopac. So, yeah. We can get out here. That's the passenger line. We can get out here onto the freight line. Alright, now we're down here. And then what? And it's passenger. So, freight through here. Pass Rolla. This is a crazy line. That's passenger. There's a freight train. Yeah, stop pausing the game. You don't even have a connection to get over here.
No, I do not.
Hey, it's Crowbar. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Doing good. Today is a super detailing episode.
Of
Transport Fever 2 and an oil well. I started connecting the oil fields around, collectively Texarkana. And
okay.
I saw you were playing Dead Polly.
Yes, Tristan came on, or he was actually already on. And then Jeff came on and he sent me a message on Steam and said that he had some problems with his Discord channel and couldn't use it any longer and had to set up a new one. So I was like, well, that happens sometimes.
I don't know when, unless he was hacked or something.
Don't know.
Or hijacked.
Hacked or hijacked. All of those H's. Gotta hate them. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, when I came into the Discord here, I saw that you would put up a thing about that you were online in your stream, but the new post didn't show up until just after we were already talking when I asked you what you were playing, and then it showed up.
Interesting.
The one that said "We Struck Oil" was at the bottom of the queue there until after we started talking, and then the other one popped in about the Wunderbare, yada yada yada.
Yeah, it's I don't know what the delay is of how long they go out. There is there's one rule of thumb that sort of says you should use the first couple of minutes as sort of a warm-up sort of thing. I would, again, because different life experiences, I would describe it as the orchestra's walking in and warming up, tuning up.
Yeah.
But if you start your stream and you immediately go, hey, hoo hoo, ha ha, your whole hyped up, I drank 3 Red Bull sort of moment is all going to pass before anyone even gets an email, let alone opens it, or a text message or a tweet that says, hey, the clown show has started. So it's interesting because I've not seen anybody describe it as, when you go to the orchestra and the orchestra has to walk in, like they're not using terms based upon, when you take your wife and your kids to go see Wicked at the Playhouse on Broadway.
Yeah, that's not happening for most of the people that we're probably referring to.
No, so it's a shame because the analogy I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I've and the music that I currently have playing is it's a Halloween playlist I put together of sort of the midnight relaxing asthma type music stuff, but it's all Halloween songs, and it's a lot of different chill or classical or other stuff. So, and a lot of them, I can listen to them and go, this is really good music. This is Like these songs, I've put them into the midnight playlist. They're sticking around even after Halloween because they're just nice songs.
Hmm.
I've done that thing like on Halloween where I've listened to on First Wave, to refer to a prior conversation we had. I don't know if she. Do you have Sirius Radio?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, there's
Are
Billy.
you serious?
Well, Billy Idol used to do a thing called uh, it was a dark wave
Hmm.
on like a Sunday night or whatever, and he for Halloween one year, and I don't know if it was repeated or if he did it multiple times, but he did a whole dark wave show on the music, the dark wave music. Some very interesting stuff. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that know his music as pop, you know, but don't know it in any other, like some of his more goth or darker stuff.
Hmm.
You know, it's So have you built the purple and black lights yet?
Uh,
Dead Polly,
they're orange and purple.
orange and purple. Okay.
Yeah, Tristan's actually made both of them today. He's made them before, and I've seen them. I've got probably one or two of each of them on my solo game, but yeah, they're just those little dome light thing. Looks like in real life it'd probably be about 5-6 inches
Hmm.
in diameter that you can stick up on the wall. They're not the big lights or any kind of light strings that you could make. So, but they are orange or purple, and they're only craftable during the Halloween event. So,
Now, have you noticed any difference in the Banshee spawn time?
uh, Tristan wants to go try and hit the Banshee the next time we play, but I haven't gone over there to see.
Yeah, I think the patch note said they like lowered the time or something, like
Yeah,
30
they
minutes.
right. They changed it to 30 minutes. The cooldown time, I guess, is what they refer to it as. I don't know what it used to be. Was it a couple of hours or once a day or
I
something like
I
that?
assumed that it was like everything else, just once a game day. But I mean, I never looked it up because I didn't think it was that it mattered.
Mm.
You know. So I had to make some adjustments down to the Texarkana area of my map. Um, One of the town names changed to Little Rock. The other one changed to Shreveport
Mm.
to be more accurate with where they were positioned on the map.
Okay.
Because again, I had never come over to one side of the map, and as I learned, many episodes ago, when I built the map, I had twisted things around one time too many, and
Yeah.
you know,
And your north wasn't pointing north anymore.
yeah, and there's no compass in the game,
Yeah.
so I mean, I would definitely, it's the sort of map making best tip that if your map is based upon, geography in any way, throw down some sort of game trees or rocks or something to make an N.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll never.
Yep.
So we did.
Take a north and stick with it, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, you got to get your orientation working some way. Otherwise, you'll just be
Yeah.
lost. I have uh, I have a picture to show you if you don't mind. Well, it's a
Yeah.
video.
Let me get in game here first, so I don't end up blowing things up because I left when it was trying to do something else, which seems to. Up there it goes. Just a second. And I'll be looking at the roof or the ceiling of the bed, and then I can. What the hell is? Oh, what the?
I threw it in general whenever you're bored.
Alrighty.
I'd be curious to see what your has kids but not a grandpa view on the topic is.
Okay.
Well, this is for chat, so I don't want to be
Okay.
rude for a second, but let me soapbox here for a second. Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
we have achafalafa. Achafalafa.
At Atchafalaya.
Achafalaya. So we have Achafalaya, and we got to get connected. And all that work we just did literally did nothing to connect us. So I think we're going to have to bite the bullet with tracks and make a decision. And I think they're going to follow the river. That's they're more likely to follow the river than they are to be out here in the wastelands of 2020 Arkansas, because that is a wasteland that we don't want to touch. So let's get a big river trunk line laid here.
Okay, so what are their tips? Don't do it.
No. I'd be curious. No, when you watch it, I'd be curious to see what
I'm not going to watch it. Sorry.
You're not.
Nope.
All right then.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea, and then I'll be back.
Okay, so this is going to be a bypass station. So we're going to do 4 tracks. And let's get this hooked up. There's our track going out of town. Are you going right into a tunnel? No, we are not going into a tunnel. How bad does it look? We can adjust that. All right, because we are definitely not making tunnels down here. Keep it down. There we go. All right, hook in. There you go. All right, now come over here. And there you go. I mean, they're freight trains. You don't have to go up that high, but you don't want to be that low. All right, come out of there. All right, now come into this. All right, now we might have an opportunity to use that piece of wall that we just found. The brush a little bigger. And I swear, man, can you not? Oh, that would have haunted us later to no end. Yeah, I know that really would have sucked. All right. Now, where are you coming from here? Well, I mean, we're coming straight out. And then how are you hooking into this? That's a good point. That is actually not a through station. It's just a terminus. Well, you know what? We don't know what it's going to turn into later. So we're not going to build it frumpy now. So now what? Get rid of that, wherever that came from. Okay, so that gets us vehicles down here from the depot. Alright. This was the track that we destroyed last night when we said we don't need it. Alright, put this on. You know, we don't have a turnaround out here. We don't know if we need it. We don't know if anything will ever come down here and disturb this bear. So, Now what? Are you in a straight run all the way to Vidalia Harbor? Yes, you are. Alright, well, straight run it. Small pieces, small steps, stay low. I mean, I really think we should be right up against the river. No, because that's where the highway's going to go. I mean, we know there's a highway coming down here. So let's not mess with the highway. Alright. You know, this might just become a passenger line in the future. Well, it can't because it's a freight line. But, alright, so this is our return. This brings us through here. So, what is this getting us? It's getting us a way to get trains down here. But I guess if you pull out of here... Alright, here's 100. And we're just cruising on the ground. Alright. Where are you taking us? I mean, this is a line we might never use. Yeah, no kidding. It is, it is a line we're never going to use. Yeah, but we have to get down to get the trains down there. I mean, you're seriously building a $5+ million train line here. I mean, it might get used in the future. Oh, look at that. Take us right through there. Did we build that? No, we did not, but we are going to use it. Well, then take us up here. Now do this. Look at that. We cut right through the right around the forest. Oh, we're definitely going to be needing that. You know, I'm pretty sure this is all going to become Little Rock and Shreveport area. It's going to become its own little system down here. Well, alright, so here's Caruthersville. Take us up here. And then link us up. That is, you know, if you get any tip from today, that to me is a huge one. It's, you know, stop trying to solve all the problems. You gonna put a freight station in here?
All right.
Hey, it's Crowbar. Welcome back.
Thank you. Let's see.
Let's just do a small... Hey, let's just do a pass-through station. Why not? It is our standard. And it does increase our costs. Yes, it does. Alright. So... think you could have... Yeah, we could build that a little closer to town. Put it back here. There you go. Yeah, the video is our dinner last night with the grandkids.
Really?
Yes.
It's from the actual meal at the restaurant.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's why I was sharing it with you, to show off the food and the grandchildren. We are we have always been a believer in if you want your kids to behave in restaurants as teenagers and adults, take them to restaurants as early as you can.
Yeah.
And also, and here's, excuse me, here's something I did not know was an issue until I encountered people that did it. Feed your kids real food. We were just never fans of, we're going to a nice restaurant. Oh, what are the kids going to eat? Let's look on the kids menu for chicken nuggets. Like we always got more out of, because again, they're little kids. They don't need a full course meal. Yeah, that's why I order off the kids menu. It's cheaper. It's like, you know what else you could order off of? Order something not fried off the appetizer menu. And if the restaurant doesn't have it, ask them, can you make a kid-size portion? How much would it be for, something, like the
Do you
broiled
have
fish.
a petite filet for them?
Hey, can't hurt to ask. Especially if it's a place that wants your ass to come back with you and your, well-behaved kids.
Okay.
And we're definitely going to be using that. Should we have built the station now? No. Build it later when you actually need it. But see, we're in the vicinity. Plus, I don't have a name for it, so. Alright, we're trying to get to St. Louis. Okay, here's Hoover's Farm. And here's their fields. They're not going to be happy if you plow a freight train right through the middle of their fields. I think that's what we're doing now. Where'd that go? See, signals aren't backwards. Just rotate the view camera. Have you had any more Dead Poly visitors, or are you still playing as a private server?
Haven't had anybody come on, but it is joining as a from the Steam Friends list, so I don't think there's any way for anybody else to see that it's a public server.
It's public but hidden. Yeah, that's another. I think, another detailing tip that I think applies to this game, but any game, really long straight lines are boring.
Mm-hmm.
Put in curves and turns and. Plus, real world highways have turns, so that drivers who are drowsy can crash more likely. Or something about that. It's something about drowsy people. It
They
might be,
shouldn't be driving.
might be for safety. You know, maybe if there's a turn coming, people wake up more. You know, oh my God, like, something.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was always told. I'm just not sure how much of it is a urban legend lie sort of thing or not. Like I was always told those reflector lights are the same as rubber rails. They're for driver safety and to wake you up. I think we're ready to buy a train. Man, it's going to be a long trip to get down here. All right. I think it's been an hour and all I've done is build the first station, not even the second one. And we have 8 to build. Let's, this is just a transfer station. Can we cover this building in a giant tank? No. Did we come close to hiding it? Nope. What does that get us? Something really weird. Okay. See, why has nobody on the workshop made an alternative dock for oil? Like just a flat pier.
Guess they're waiting for you to do it, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I've dabbled in the mystic arts of Blender and Photoshop, and I mean, and I've put stuff on the workshop, and I get messages from people like, "I subscribed to your thing." It's like, "Oh, because you liked it." No, I took pity on you. I didn't think anybody else would subscribe, and actually, I clicked like because I hate other people, and I'm hoping to dupe them into downloading it. That's the kind of comments I get. And that's when I tell my kids to stop commenting. I think we're just going to try this. Same thing here. Yeah, there's just been this huge opportunity that people haven't taken advantage of with the modular platforms. I mean, I don't know how hard it is to modify them, but usually people are more worried about, and what you see most likely on the workshop is train stations. But we can replace every one of these though if we get our height right.
You suppose that's because people, even though it's a transportation game, look at it as a train game?
I think there are a lot of people who spend a lot of time And again, I can only base it upon what I see and what the Steam achievement page tells me.
Mm-hmm.
And the Steam achievement page tells me that for a lot of the games that I play, there are... Well, my own Steam friend page tells me there's people who own games, they're in their library. And it's like, why is this game in your library but you're not playing it? It's like, and I can understand. See, what happens is they get it from a, like a Humble Bundle, some charity auction, something. And that's cool. But I'm talking about when not those people. I'm talking about when somebody actually, takes the wrapper and installs the little floppy disk, and now they're playing, Transport Fever, Space Engineers, something. And you look at it and they've got, that's actually not that bad. Yeah. Yeah, we can stick with that. Oh, if we could put an office here. Configure. Let's see which one of these we can get rid of. How about that one? Let me get rid of this. I'll put the other one in. Okay, how do they look different? You put the same thing in. And I guess on one hand, the answer could be they just didn't like the game. But as somebody on here famously said, people got too many choices. And one of the games I was looking up the other day, that gentleman played it for 2.1 hours. It's just... So, yeah, this harbor looks like... I didn't know what this was going to look like. I don't come at these with a plan. Because if I had a plan, I'd be doing something else. I come at these with the... Okay, large, straight. We make the pipes as large as we can. Yeah, see, the problem I have with these pipes is... connecting the second piece up. And I swear, man, if we get to that road and she goes, eh. So, not to mention other games not to mention my other girlfriends while I'm on a date with my wife, but, oh man, you messed every one of them up. There's a developer on the workshop in City Skylines that gave us, your heights are wrong, a whole bunch of pipes. So instead of putting down just one pipe, you could put down a cluster. But again, City Skylines is more about detail than it is about economy or making money. There has got to be an easier way to drop these in. That's the answer. Bring the put one down. It'll look horrible. But, you know, when you're looking at it, you see the light come through the pipe because it's not connected. And then that'll help you guide the other piece in. You know, kind of like how a master carpenter has an assistant do it first. So they can yell at him and go, "You idiot, you messed it up."
Yeah.
Okay. So we had dinner for 10 last night. And we've known the manager and her family for, what, 10 years now? 8 years? And the owner. And, oh wow, look at that. That is freaking, that is just awesome. Alright. Pipe this into the buildings. Yeah, because we don't need to see, we just need to see this. And the steam vents looks like it's heating up the crude oil. Ooh. I know. Role playing for the win. You know, no one's going to see these pipes, and by putting them in, you're hurting your performance. You know, if it can't look good, then what does performance matter?
You'll know they're there.
Yeah, when the game's playing at slower frame rate. I will feel that they're there even more so. Alright, so this... Can we go over the roof of the building? No, we're going right through the building. That's... They were telling us how they still having a hard time getting workers.
At the restaurant last night?
Yeah, it's a shame.
Okay.
I mean, they're very nice people. He very, very liberal on the, you know, for the most part, I don't care what you did in the past, I'll give you a second chance. You know, still very difficult to find people. It's a shame. Okay, I think when you see this, your thought is, oh, that's an oil transfer harbor. I think when you see this, you go, Atchafalaya? Absolutely. It just screams at you. Alright, let's go buy a train. Because as much as we want to see the detailing, we get to see it better from the trains. Okay, new vehicle. A35s because they're expensive and we've got money to burn. Yes. This is the first time in this game we are buying these tank cars. I know, holy cow. Yep. Now the question is, do we want to paint it black or not? Okay, pause the game. And she is Missouri Pacific. 8286. All right, time for her to get to work. All right. Time to take a train ride. All right, start the timer. It is 1:15. I think this train ride is going to take us 10 minutes to get across the map. Who the hell builds a map that it takes 10 minutes of real time for the train? Whew. Yeah, because once the train line's built, you know, oh, does it need another train? Copy clone. It's done. You know, you don't ride it again. You know, it loses its mystique. But the first run, ooh, the inaugural cruise. Dare we say the Virgin Ride is just, it's full of mystery. Like, will we reach a certain point and realize Clown didn't build the track right? You know, it's not much of a mystery considering how often it happens, I guess. Yeah, one of these songs that's on this, you know, Halloween playlist, I think it was on here only because it has one of those theremins in it. You know, because they're an eerie sounding instrument. But to me, the thing more reminds me of like an episode of, like, hey, welcome to Lost in Space. Tonight we have an alternative theme song. You know, like it's that level of sci-fi-ish to me. Like it doesn't. That one, by the way, does not stick around on the midnight playlist because it's just like it's not a good Halloween song. It's not a good. You know, this song just played would be really good. It could be the theme song to When Mars Attacks. You know,
Okay.
like it's, yeah, it's a sci-fi movie. Yeah, it's a little stupid, goofy. Yeah, but it is science fiction. Okay, break out the theremin. Like it's just.
Yeah.
All right, from this point forward, brand new track. It took us 2 minutes just to get out of St. Louis. Now we're cutting across Hobson's Farm. They're not pleased, but hey, we have a right of way. So the next train line I have to build is the City of New Orleans run. I'm going to build that when I get to New Orleans, and then I'm going to use that as my midnight, you know, just playing music run sort of thing.
Okay.
Because that'll be a pretty long train ride. Oh, you playing Space Engineers?
Yes.
I haven't seen coffee. I did find out that we have a lot of games in common, though. And there's a gentleman that I've chatted with a couple times. I had a chance to talk to him on, well, I mean, only 2 messages back and forth on Discord. But I've chatted with him on Twitter, or Twitch rather. And I have a couple games in common too. I don't know why I just leveled that track. I mean, I know why. I'm not going to leave it looking crappy. Yeah, if you don't ride these tracks the first time you build them, I mean, for me at least, I would never find some of these mistakes I make.
Yep. Gotta check your work sometimes.
Yeah, and if it's important enough for you to build it in the game, then again, I don't think it's role playing. I think it's more realistic playing. But take a walk around the thing. You just spent so much time and money building it. Your character's life is in jeopardy flying in it. That's why I have a hard time watching Matt Lowe over there play Kerbal Space Program, because it's difficult for me to build something that explodes on the platform. It's even worse for me to watch him for 30 minutes build the space shuttle, with all of its multi-stage glory. That's a guy that there's just a couple of them that just, boy, they know every aspect of that game. And
so what are they going to do now that there's another 2 coming out?
I mean, they've mastered it already. They've contributed to the dev team.
So it's not going to be much of a change for them, huh?
Well, I mean, it's the different, the whole different aspects of the game. But I mean, they're it's Cape Girardeau. We are, man, we're 13 minutes into this trip. No, I'm sorry, we're 8 minutes in. Do you have early voting in your area?
I believe so.
Ours opened yesterday. We should fix that. Yeah, but it goes through the forest here. No reason to have brand new track in the middle of nowhere go around a sharp turn. There's just no reason for it. It's like,
Yep.
I'll tolerate the squeal when it's going into a freight yard or something, but so what are you working on? Are you on the Alpha Shipyard?
Yeah, I am.
You're working on. Have you seen William lately?
No, I have not. Not for since Thursday, I think.
I saw him pop in and say something like hello or hi or something, but by the time I saw it, it was like hours later, or at least a while later.
Yeah, because he was saying I believe on Thursday, maybe it was even Wednesday. I don't know, but he had nothing to do tomorrow, and he had lots of time. Never saw him, so that happens. People get other stuff to do.
Well, he could have said it loud enough that partner in
His
his.
wife heard him and said, "Hey, you got shit to do now."
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
So, TV commercial yesterday. ShopRite. Spend $400, get you free turkey.
Is that a grocery store near you other than Winkleman's or whatever?
Wegmans, yeah. But it's the first time I've seen one this year. We shouldn't have that when the next one comes through. fox on the railroad tracks. Yeah, yeah. I confiscated equipment yesterday a couple times. I had the sad face crying stunt tried to be pulled on me yesterday a couple times. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch that. It's like, just put it down. Yeah, it was a.
Yeah, I heard when they first came in and went running right to your computer, that's not a toy, don't touch that.
Yeah, well, it got used as a toy several times. And so that's part of the fun of it. Especially because everything was muted and turned off from mute. Like, you know, oh, look how smart they are. Yeah, they're taking everything that I said not to touch and playing with it.
They may be smart, but they may not be well behaved.
Well, they're not my children. So,
No, they are not. And you realize that.
because I've been told that. Yeah, so every time a new railroad got put on the map, they got a depot. And then that's it. They don't get another depot. And, man, I didn't look at the length of the map when I came up with that decision. Because, let's see.
Because it's a long way between depots? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's a long way to Tipperary, and it's a long way for a freight train to go from St. Louis down to the New Orleans area. I mean, I'm way past it's taken longer than even my 15-minute estimate to get down here. I mean, I'm in the vicinity, but I still ain't at the first oil well yet. And I didn't know if that was a bear or a hippo. It's a bear. Man, I just noticed I hadn't even planned this spot on the map, yet I had put a lighthouse here like a couple of weeks ago. Just worked out to be an ideal spot. Now, how have you heard the phrase or the town or the national forest, Atchafalaya?
Ever heard of that one?
Let's go back and look at the name. It's Atchafalaya or Atchafalaya?
Atchafalaya.
Atchafalaya. So how have you heard of Atchafalaya?
Well, when I was in Houston a number of years ago, there was a place there called the Atchafalaya River Cafe that had pretty good, I don't know if it was Creole or Cajun food, but it was pretty good. And we just had to ask as to how the heck do you pronounce this name? So the waiter or the waitress, I'm not sure, I think it was a waitress, told us.
And then did you get the Atchafalaya history?
I can't pronounce it right.
Get this.
On purpose.
No, it's never on purpose. It's just
Oh, I doubt that very seriously.
Right now there are 100 towns and cities on the map and 35,000 people. There's 2,000 vehicles. There are an awful lot of pronouns on this place, on this map. And a lot of them I can't remember they're here sometimes. So, and I don't know when I'm going to see the Atchafalaya or Atchafalaya again after like the next 2 or 3 episodes, because it's a transfer point on the map to take cargo from trains to put it on a ship. Mm-hmm. And like there's no guarantee that I'll even be back down here again once it's built.
Ever, yeah.
Well, I mean, if I am, it won't be like, even if right now you were like, oh no, go around the map. How long will it take you to come back? I'm like, 3 weeks. So, if you want me to remember Atchafalaya or Atchafalaya, it's.
Then you just pronounce it however wrong you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, because it's going to be a while.
Because you don't need any help from me to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I would love to pronounce it right. Unfortunately, in the time it took me to look it up, nothing jumped out that made it railroad or transportation, history interesting for me to make it my next 30 minutes of dialogue. Because looking at it, I was like, is this in the middle of the bayou? That's... all right. Here's our detailed station. Let's see how cool this looks coming in. Oh, no, this definitely screams there's something here. We got depth of
Hey,
scale.
by the
Go ahead.
way,
Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
did you turn off the zombies in this game?
No,
Hmm.
I haven't turned anything off.
I wonder if they're broken because I haven't seen any in. Maybe it's Will keeps bringing the zombies, but I haven't seen any since he's been gone.
Is his defense thing keeping him out?
It doesn't operate.
Oh,
It's not finished yet, so no. The answer to that would be a definite no.
okay. So I brought the train down, and it's not picking up any oil. And that's because I didn't finish the rest of the route. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the way the game
But
works.
where's it going to be taking it?
So the the train line at Oil Field 1, which needs a name, and Oil Field 2, which also needs a name, have two loops that come into the Atchafalaya terminal here, which has a whole bunch of tanks and it accepts ferries. So the route from here picks them up and hauls them north to Vidalia Harbor, which is across the Mississippi from Natchez, and that's where the Vidalia oil refinery is.
And that's in Georgia, Vidalia?
No, it's in where Natchez is, kind of like that town in Illinois.
It's on the wrong side of the river.
Yeah, yeah, there is a little strip of territory here that is on the other side of the river. It's very interesting, you know, because you just, you know, like why didn't the state just sit back and say, "Hey, we're just going to give you're on the other side of the river, get out of here," you know, like because it's just a weird sort of thing, and of course it just reminds you that rivers change, you know, they
Yep.
move, they're not static things. Even in ancient,
Sometimes on their own and sometimes by the influence of the Army Corps of Engineers.
well, that both of those, and sometimes by the influence of a big old storm that just causes
That's the on their own part, yeah.
well, no, because I mean a hurricane comes in and starts a domino fall. You know, I mean, but yeah, it's well, I guess by nature or man, but I mean, because you kind of think of it's an ancient river. It's been here forever. It's got this, the volume of water that flows through here. I mean, on one hand, you kind of wonder how does any riverbank stand a chance? You know, I mean, shouldn't the whole river bottom be polished smooth by this huge flow of water? I mean, I've always, that's the one thing about the flow of water like this because, like, you go scuba diving and you see these coral reefs and you just wonder, man, how do these things survive? And then you remember that, when the wave comes in and then it pulls out, sediment lands, and sometimes it has a chance to stick and accumulate. It's, it moves so slow we'd never see it. But do you remember the name of the town that's on the wrong side of the river in Illinois? And was that in Illinois? I can't even remember where that was now. It was definitely somewhere.
It was Illinois.
Was it? Where was it? Yeah, I cannot remember, but it was definitely something. A storm happened, and I guess that's the part that's interesting. So here's our town, and here's First Avenue to 10th Avenue, and 10th Avenue is on the waterfront with the river going over that way. And now some big old storm or something comes in, and the water shifts. it's like, wait, what? You know, it's like, how's your town still here? Like, if it's that level of a shift. I don't know. It's a fascinating sort of thing to, see pictures and stuff of. I think that town in Illinois, though, is a ghost town, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of underpopulated. I mean, there's 400 people there, maybe.
I wonder if somebody's done a YouTube sort of thing, towns on the wrong side of the Mississippi.
I don't think there is a wrong side of the Mississippi.
Okay. Kashkashkia.
Close enough.
Kashkashkia Island is the only portion of Illinois located west of the Mississippi.
It's not an island anyway.
Well, that's what they're called. That's the name of it, according to this article.
Maybe in the sense that it's an island that's detached from Illinois by the river, but it's not an island that's surrounded by water in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. The town was evacuated in the Great Flood of 1993, covered by water more than 9 feet to 3 meters deep. Has a population of 21.
Oh, okay.
Making it the second least populated incorporated community in Illinois, behind Valley City, with its staggering population of 14. Although it has an Illinois telephone code, it has a Missouri zip code. That would be interesting. How many other zip codes span state lines? I mean, I would have thought, if you had asked me before this series and the 700 plus hours that are currently in it, it's close to almost 800 hours. I am really milking this game, I mean, because there are times where I'm sitting here and it's like, I could bang this out in 5 minutes. Yeah, man, don't do that. We're here to play the series and have fun. Okay, so okay, so the town in Tennessee is Reverie. Over a period of about 24 hours on March 7th of 1876, according to Wikipedia, because I wasn't there, the Mississippi River abandoned. Like it just decided. It's been around long enough. It's an adult. It could make its own decisions. It abandoned its former channel that coincided with the Tennessee-Arkansas border and established a new channel east of Reverie. This places Reverie on the Arkansas side, while most of the area of Tipton County is located east of the Mississippi River, the Tennessee side. Oh, wow, this went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. The formation of the new Centennial Cutoff, named for the U.S. Centennial, and the abandonment of the stretch of the river, formerly known as the Devil's Elbow, led to a 1918 Supreme Court case, Arkansas v. Tennessee, on whether the border should be moved with the river. That's an interesting question. I mean, your state is founded and your border is the river. Now the river moves. What is your border? Judge Crowbar, how would you decide?
I would say it depends a lot on the wording of what was when the state was set up. If it said the current location of the river, then I would say that the thing doesn't move even if the river moves.
It says the river, but it says oyez, oyez on this day, July 4th, 1776. The river is the border.
Okay.
So, does that mean it's the river of that day, or is it the river?
I think it does. The river of that day.
Did those people know that rivers move?
Well, all they had to do was throw something in the river and they'd know that it moved.
Yes, but do they know that the river would move from the east to west side of a town? Like that level of movement.
They may or they may not have. I mean,
Yeah.
it could go either way. But I mean, anybody that watches a meandering river knows that the thing moves as it ages.
So then, assuming that the Congress of the time knew that a river could move, and they set the border as the river, I certainly would call into question whether or not they meant, where the river moves. As a matter of course. No pun intended there. What's interesting about this is this very issue was an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Did you watch that show?
Really? In Tennessee and Arkansas? Wow.
Yeah, it was a sub. Yeah, did you watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine?
Not really.
It very much departed
Was
from
it Star Trek Janeway.
No, that was Discovery. Deep Space Nine was the one with a fellow Rutgers alum and New Jerseyan, Avery Brooks, as Captain Benjamin Sisko. It also departed from all previous Star Treks in that, unlike being set on a ship that moved around to find things, it was built on set on a station over a planet. So things happened around it, but they did not move to go find trouble. Interestingly enough.
That's probably a good thing because the people in the Starfleet were so good at finding trouble when they had the chance to move around.
Well,
or that's how it seemed to me anyway.
It's interesting, though, that we're having this conversation because, I mean, quite literally, the episode was this young girl whose father negotiated the treaty with the other tribe on her planet. And it was the river was the boundary. And the Cardassians came in and took over the planet. And under their military rule, they diverted the river to flood this area of plains for their own occupational needs. And the people that initially were there, they had a river, and the river was shared equally between them, and it helped to irrigate farmland and development. So because of the Cardassians' efforts, a whole community was now without water. And their argument...
Kim Kardashian, anyway, always screwing things up.
Well, their argument was, why would we let the acts of an evil military oppressor, dictate what we have? And the the girl who took over was sort of, she was in charge of the clan because all the older people were killed off by the military occupation. So there was a whole part of it that was based upon, her constantly saying that she was being questioned because of her lack of experience or her age, or all those sort of issues were touched on. But I mean, in the end, it really came down to the question of, and they answered it very much politically, which was, are you from Bejor, the planet, or are you happy that Cardassia has screwed over your neighbor, and you're willing to, not share in some way? And but it was definitely answered in a Solomon sort of way, you know. So I mean, I thought it was interesting, but I would have never thought about the episode in any way until, just now having this. Because at the time, if you had asked me at the time, I would have probably been like, yeah, this is fantasy. When's this ever happened? It's like, well, sir, I went to the U.S. Supreme Court. That's how fantasy it is. Really? Yeah, I'm shocked by that. I'm shocked by my ignorance of this issue. Like it's, you know. But, that's one of the joys of law school. You constantly are presented with, on this day in history, this case went before the Supreme Court. And you're like, nah, it didn't. It's like, yes, it did. It's.
Go look it up.
Well, and being blind, or, whatever level of visually impaired somebody wants to argue with me, I fall on their own scale, however they choose to describe me, because I appreciate them making that decision on my behalf. But yeah, I know, I think I just made the exact same thing again. I made it a point earlier to say don't duplicate your work, and I literally just duplicated my work here. So I owe myself a fix. I wonder how that came out in somebody's, script writing class. When you're out of ideas, just go look up what happened at the U.S. Supreme Court. You're like, what? Yeah, I mean, it's real life. It's strange. Most people have never heard about it. You might come up with some new idea. One of the things I don't do in this game is decorate with trees, because we have way, way too many of them on the map. And trees eventually are we have a future project that's called Frame Rate's Too Low. Bring out the deforestation tools.
Cut them all down.
Yeah, no, in all seriousness, there is a time where they will all come down because they can be a huge source of frame issues. Do you have your candy for tomorrow? Or your no treats here sign?
Yeah, we have it. We've had it in stock for a while now.
How long is a while, and does that include your rating of the candy? Or is
Well,
the candy safe or kept out of snack range?
well, it's been downstairs, but the bags have been sealed up, so there's been, no. Yeah, I guess if they were open, it'd be a little bit more tempting, but they haven't been open, so they'll be open tomorrow and hand it out to any little chillins that happen to come on along.
Now, do you have an age limit on what you'll open the door for, or do you take anything that comes in?
No, nope. They're here. They get something.
We have a couple of apartments near us, and there have been times where a lot of adults have shown up.
Hmm.
And we've had this debate before about.
So, what qualifies as an adult? Over 10?
Oh no, I mean like 50-year-old grandmothers that show up with the grandkids.
Okay.
Like that sort of age.
Okay. And
You
we
know.
have a lot of those come. Not 50-year-olds, but certainly a lot of the parents go trick or treating with their children, but they don't come up to the front porch.
Yeah, we've had it where, and we've assumed our answer to it has always been, this might be just a cultural difference, you know. And of course, the other answer is, well, maybe as children or wherever they're from, they did not have this as children, and it's like, okay, I guess that's cool. The other thing is maybe it's mom or dad or the grandparents out with a child that might be nervous or uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you do for the dogs that come around?
we have over the years talked about it. Do we have a dog treat, or do we put something out? And, because our children have gone trick-or-treating with the dogs. Mm-hmm. And usually the dog is an accompaniment, and also, is there as a safety token factor. But yeah, we have had that. But for the most part, it has been it's a subject that kind of gets ignored.
Yeah, until this morning, we were kind of looking forward to it because they had the forecast was for it to be in the 60s somewhere, but to be a nice sunny day. And now they've changed the forecast to where the temperature is supposed to be in the 50s and it's supposed to be rainy on and off.
Yeah, we're supposed to have morning showers and then stop. And apparently I don't know how to spell crude oil. Alright, so now that we have a ship assigned, the oil wells will start pumping out crude. Matter of fact, while we're waiting for this to come out of the station, if we watch over here, we'll see crude start to show up. And there it is, down here as barrels on the platform. Okay, let's follow our new train. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've had this conversation several times. You know, I wonder if I should go get more candy. I think we should just go down and see the grandkids and put up the little sign that says, "We're not here." You know, we should get all the decorations out. It's like, I think we should leave them in the garage and we should go down to where the grandkids are. Because, I mean, honestly, yeah, but they're going to be at school by the time we get there. It's like, well, that's why they make Chick-fil-A, or we'll grab something when we get there. You know? Or we'll take a bologna sandwich with us. What do we, what's your point? Yeah, but then it'll be late by the time we come back. Well, they won't be trick-or-treating at midnight. You know? Just have to see how it goes. But yeah, it is a definite. Just to check some stats. Let's see where we're at.
Excuse me.
Yeah, this might still be a little high here. Let's trim this back. Ooh. What did we just delete in the distance? I hope nothing important.
Really?
Well, I mean, I was deleting something and I was off, and it gave me the delete sound. So whatever I was doing, it grabbed something. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, quite
I hate
frankly,
when that happens.
it could be anything out there in the the vastness of the game. But
And it just goes ahead and deletes it. It doesn't confirm that you really want to delete that thing.
well, I mean, first off, that's a safety feature, and I have that stuff disabled as much as possible.
Oh, oh yeah. By the way, Jeff was saying something that they changed the game satisfactory around,
Uh huh.
where the in the past, I guess if you just put down a power pole, the critters would not spawn back in.
Yes.
Apparently, according to what he's saying, they changed that around, and he was getting chased around by animals. I'm thinking to myself, I thought he had all the animals turned off, but maybe in his most recent copy of the game that he's playing.
Well, I haven't
Number
seen those
42
other
or
people
whatever.
online, but I mean, again, I don't watch him to know what he's doing. It's just whenever I see him.
Mhm.
But there were like two people that he was playing with.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know if those people are still around. They may have reached a point where they, finished their goal.
Yeah.
You know, but again, he's doing exactly the reason. What he's doing is exactly the reason why I'm streaming my games. You know, it's I don't want to finish, Transport Fever 2 Mississippi River custom map I built and then have to spend another 100 hours building another custom map next week. I want to get some game time and some fun out of it. And the streaming, because I limit myself to, 2 to 4 hours of a block of time, really helps, lock down what it is that I'm looking to do. So the fact that I'll, hit a point and be like today. Today is a super detailing episode. And so I'm not doing anything else other than detailing these oil stations up here. I
Mhm.
mean, there's nothing going on today because we had the grandkids yesterday, and then we did a huge family dinner, and everybody's lunch today was leftovers. You know, and so like there's not a big push for us to be. There's nothing stopping me from playing this game for 10 or 12 hours today, except for eye drops. You know, and I can go put eye drops in and just sit here and just let the game run if I needed money, you know.
Mhm.
But there's I mean, outside of eye drops, nothing stopped me from playing 10 or 12 hours a day. Well, that just accelerates getting to the end of the game. It's I've done that. I've done it. I've done it in every game I've played, you know, more than enough times. And afterwards, it's always okay, well, how do I not do this again? Like, as an example, uh, El Presidente, the game where it's a city builder in
Tropical.
Tropico. Yeah, Tropico. Thank you. So with Tropico, um, I mean, I bought the game when I had a lot of other stuff going on and just never got to play it. Or I played it for a couple hours and never got back to it. Same thing with Railway Empire. Um, and when I finally had time to get back to it, it was like, man, I played this far enough. Like it's. I know what's going to happen. It's lost its sort of, is this a new game to sort of play? And so, again, it's my own fault. I admit it. That's why I'm not. That's why Space Engineers is not my favorite game. And what's the biggest problem with Space Engineers? Oh, well, I've played it too much. You know, well, how about Banished? I know everyone talks about Banished. We should drop to our knees and kiss its feet. Banished isn't that great of a game. Well, what's your problem with Banished? Oh, easy. The devs let me download a bunch of mods from the workshop. What? Yeah, that's exactly what's wrong with the game. It's like, well, that's your problem. Yes, it is, and I admit it. But I'm telling you, I've made it a point ever since then to never fall for that trap. It's, because I never, when I was working and gaming at night after work, and then friends, if it came up, we'd be talking about it over lunch along with every other thing we would talk about. There was not an incentive, to rush home and play for 24 hours straight because we had to go to work and go to bed. So when those blocks are taken off or those chocks are removed, if you're not careful, that wagon's going to fall down into the river and all the fun goes with it. And I don't want to fall for that again. So I see Jeff doing some of that stuff. I think you mentioned it with the removed all the critters. I don't want to play a game with the creatures removed. I want to play a game with the creatures much more. Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, and spawning like rabbits. You know. And then when I go, okay, that's way too much. Okay, then slow it down a peg. But I don't know where on that scale he is. I do know that Jeff spoke a lot about PvP. And he is like a lot of other people. That's why Jeff is not playing on the Rust server right now. Even though I have a whole bunch of Halloween events that I'd love to go play. Oh, well, why would Jeff go play with you? He doesn't like PvP. Oh, really? He said he likes PvP. He's mentioned PvP in Asheron's Call. He's mentioned PvP in this game or that game. Like it's not... the word PvP has certainly crossed his lips. But why when I turn around to him and go, here you go, ta-da, we have our own PvP server. And it's like, well, I don't want to fight and get killed by other people. I anticipated that, sir. It's PvP and PvE. There's only certain times of the day where there's PvP allowed, and there's only certain places where PvP is allowed. You don't have to play during those hours, and you don't have to play, the game at that time. You're in control. And his answer was completely abandon it. And it's like, I mean, again, if you had asked me, well, didn't you expect Jeff would bail on you? I'm like, I hadn't thought about it initially, but now that you bring it up, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And that's a shame. because he had a really good time playing the game.
Yeah, he sounded like he was having a great time when that zombie ran up to him and he screamed like, "Wow, what's that?" Well, you're out at night. It's a zombie. Well, I don't like that. It's trying to kill me. Yeah.
That's called immersion,
Mm.
you know? But yeah, it's a lot nicer. I mean, I can't, can't help it. But the difference is, you know, well, why do you have to have a PvP game? Can we just make it PvE? Sure. Tell me how we're going to make the game fun and exciting. I've put a bunch of content on there to make PvE exciting. It does not need to have PvP enabled at all. There are people, however, who, they want PvP all the time. Well, I mean, that's not going to happen here. Because, you're going to come in way better than me with your better eyes, and you're going to kill me. And if I don't have a fight, I got to level the playing field somewhere. And it's like, well, then, what are you looking for, a crutch? It's like, no, I'm not looking for a crutch. I'm just looking to, I want to tell you politely, hey, you're really good at this game. You really should go somewhere else. There's not competition for you here. And if you're here to grief people, oh, then we absolutely want you to go. Oh yeah, this looks cool. Yeah, this is way more modern than 1900 looking, but it is. That's why also I'm glad I waited to do oil in the game until, at least 1900, because now I've got steel oil tanks and barrels and drums. Like, there's a good mix of stuff here. It's not, because if you were to do this in 1850, then you've got an oil refinery with all of its steel and steam and work and stuff, and it's like, you're jumping ahead of yourself there in the industrial curve there, Mr. I can't think of the guy that invented the steam engine. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I do have a good response. And the response is, really? So you want me to be a Luddite? Like, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, though, is, like, there's parts of this game, like the bus stops, they look very modern. They don't transition over the eras. And but we're in the 20th century now, so I mean, I can have a steel building with a level of, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that I guess sort of benefits Soviet Republic. The game is really based upon, 1950 to 1990. So, I mean, everything fits in that 30, 40-year period. And the Soviet Union was certainly not known for its advances in architecture during that time. All right, we have delivered oil. Now we just need to find a barge. So I'm still trying to figure out how to do a contest on the Rust server for those skins.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the suggestions I got from looking stuff up today was, or over the weekend, was, let's see, there's 19, there's 20, and that's 21, so she's going to get there first. is the have you ever seen one of those things where it's like, here, take this online survey, and you go to it, and it's like, go to this page and click like, go to Facebook and add it, go to here and do that, step outside and jump 3 times, like a whole bunch of hurdle loops, and every one of them gives you points towards a raffle.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've seen them online,
I
but
don't think so.
yeah, I've seen them, and I always go, I don't have time for your nonsense. But I mean, the answer is what they're trying to combat is, we want to hold a contest for real people, and one of the ways to do it is you don't just get to show up on Discord and click one button and then walk away and never come back. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like join the Discord, 1 point. You know, make a post in the Rust channel. You know, 2 points, sort of thing. Well, the only way you can make a post in the Rust channel is if you go to that game ad, accept the rules, and then accept the game ad thing, add yourself as you're playing Rust, and then go to the channel. So now you have 2 extra entries in the contest. You know, the problem I have is what I'm giving away is $5. You know, I mean, that is so cool on the water. Watching the lighthouse light up various pieces of the water, and as the boat and the water's moving, you're seeing different parts of the water light up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll miss those when they get deleted because of frame rate impact, because I'm looking at this now going, that is a lot of water reflection, buddy. You're moving right to the chopping block there, King of France. Who apparently wasn't, I was reading something the other day, he apparently wasn't executed right away. He tried to escape the palace from his confinement, and based upon that, that's when they moved his execution up.
Hmm.
According to some sci-fi show I was watching at the time, but still. I assume that science fiction authors do their research. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And I know you don't watch Doctor Who, and I don't know if I've told you this before, but oh my God, they're getting rid of the woman Doctor Who they got. I don't like her because she's a woman. I just don't like the actress at all. I'm also don't think some of the writing is as great as it's been in previous seasons or episodes. So I'm sure it could be a combination of a lot of things. I also just noticed that I have a chunk of land here. I have 3 submerged islands in the middle of the Mississippi. The things that I did when I made this, because I know I did it on purpose. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I came through here with a big old trench and then built these little, like a mud bed sort of. It's not an island, it's just submerged. It's just a buildup of sediment and mud. But if I wasn't on a boat right now sailing right past it, I would have never seen it. But the boat turned to get out of the way of it.
Hmm.
It's kind of cool. Did you ever own a video game called Black and White or Black and White 2?
I may have had a copy of that one.
Uh,
Was that the megalomaniac one where you were like God?
so he had a game before that, which was Peter Molyneux. Peter Molyneux is this guy who I would describe him as Roger Space Industries 20 years earlier. He issued press releases and gave press conferences and put out little triple trailers of things he was doing, and people just accepted it as he must be doing something 10 times better, and he just under released us. It's like, no, he was doing 10 times less, and he was just overhyping because of his own ego. And it's one of these things where you can easily find people who do nothing but rave about the game. And it's like, okay, great, let me tell you what the game's about. Well, you could pick your avatar. You were either a cow or a gorilla or a monkey. and you raised it from a baby, and you taught it not to shit on the houses of your villagers' community. Okay, yes, but if you taught it to poop out in the fields, the villagers could use that for fertilizer. Oh, okay. I'm like, it just. But people that loved the game raved about it because it was so groundbreaking. I was like, okay, great, but when's the last time you played it? You know? Oh, well, it was the foundation on which other games were built on. Great, but how long did you play it then? I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, exactly. But like the hype around it is just black and white, Peter Molyneux. You know. Yeah, I watched this video the other day and I was like, I could just write out right now, Peter Molyneux, can I have a refund for your shitty game I bought? You know. And there are several press articles where they rated the game 10 out of 10 before it even came out. And then months later, we're like, yeah, we have to tone down our review a little bit. The game hasn't delivered on everything it's promised. Promised? I'm sorry, I thought you reviewed games that existed. You know. But I think that's the problem. When you're a game magazine, like PC Gamer, who do you work for? Do you work for the people that buy your magazine and subscribe to it, or do you work for the advertisers that take out ads for their games in your magazine? I mean, I'm buying your magazine. You're not giving it to me for free. You know. And that's when you realize your subscription is just extra money in their pocket. They work for the advertisers, and then you're like, marketing lied to me. Not the guy who sold me a Hoover vacuum cleaner years ago. Certainly not that cute sailor that sold Cutco knives. He never lied to anybody. So for no reason at all, none at all, this thing just freaking. Yeah. They need to do. I mean, you could certainly tell them they need to do some work on the AI for, how steamboats are working here. And it is on their radar for December. It's on their roadmap of list of things to consider. But how many people play this game and actually have a lot of river traffic? And they don't. I mean, I've watched people. And if you're lucky, you might see somebody with 1 or 2 boats. You won't see someone with 150 unless you're looking at this one. And then it's like, hey, these 2 boats just collided with each other. They can't. It's like, dude, you're running 150 boats, man. just be grateful they're still moving. And I am.
Oh, I left them all off, didn't I? Well.
So Anna's learning how to do YouTube short videos. Apparently, it's. Did I tell you we went through all of her old videos to clean them up?
Okay. Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, I was surprised how much stuff. Like, she was very concerned because, her. She has the opportunity to work with, actual real time, international marketing people. And the concept of things like, this is old and out of date, should we leave it out here? It's like, absolutely not, take that down. It's like, yeah, but it's got some stuff in it, then go redo it. But until you redo it, take it down. Like, it's. But a lot of it is COVID driven. Like, she's like, look, in this video, I recommend 4 restaurants. None of them reopened after COVID. Okay, but are they going to reopen? It's like, well, we don't know yet. It's like, well, then can we just leave it? No, because it's wrong. Like, it's a very. She's definitely having to deal with that sort of. If all your content is out of date, what do you do? And the problem is, like the video that I linked you to there, the excuse me. How do you go to a restaurant with grandchildren? When we made that video, they weren't grandchildren, we had children. And if you look at those kids, one of the restaurants they're in doesn't exist anymore. And it's kind of like, I look at it, I'm like, okay, what difference does it matter? She's like, that restaurant doesn't exist anymore. So we shouldn't be, doing a video. It's like, well, we're not telling people to go to that restaurant, are you? And she goes, no, but they're right in front of the picture at the restaurant with the name outside out front. So, and again, it's her baby. I just do what she tells me. I'm happy to be alongside of her and watch her do it. So river traffic in this game is way slower than train. Yeah, but it's cheaper. If you put down a train, you have to build the railroad track, and then you have to pay to maintain it. If you stick it on a barge, it'll get there at 1/3 to 1/4 of the speed. Okay. Yeah, plus coming back the other way. So when you add it up, it's really slow. It's like, well, then why would you do it? It's like, well, because it's way cheaper. So, what happens is you get people who put down a barge like early on in the game, and then the first chance they can, they replace it. But then if you look at their game, you go, well, wait, why do you have $1 billion in the bank? You've made that much money, great. Now nothing in the game has a cost anymore. It's you're not going to have to be careful of anything you build. Well, I have 1,200 hours in this game, and I can't be bothered to dig up ground material anymore.
You don't have the nanobots running? What is your problem?
And unlimited inventory, too. It's like, well, sir, have you thought about just building in creative? No, I only play in survival. Well, it doesn't sound like you're playing in survival.
I only like to say I play in survival.
Yeah, well, Jeff is not the only person to say stuff like that, as we've found out over time. You know.
This is true. Because I turn that off and it stays off. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I don't say that I'm playing this series on very hard. I mean, I could easily say I'm playing the game on very hard difficulty. I could change the series title and saying I'm playing on ultra hard difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Given the amount of challenges that I have for myself on the map. You know. But, if somebody says, can you show me on the game setting very hard and show me where you have it checked? And I'll go, no, because, see, you're looking at one button. The devs added a bunch of other buttons to the game, and let's just say there's 12 of them. I'm on 11. If I switch it to very hard, it's 12. Oh, well, you're not playing it very hard. No, I'm not. That's why I say I'm playing on hard mode. Because I'm honest with myself. Oh, well, is this hard mode? No, you're welcome to try it with all my game settings. Let's assume you'll crash and burn.
Yeah, probably.
But here's the thing: are you going to tell me and everyone else when you do? No, why would I do that? It's like, well, then you're afraid of failure. And as Julius Caesar told us, a coward will die many times before their death. Yeah, the other two are still behind us. See, this is an example of why Soviet Republic is not going to be a million seller game. Because I'm sitting here on this boat, and it sort of raises the question of, why are you hauling these boats all the way? Why are you letting these boats sail all the way down the Mississippi when they're just going to deliver, all the way at the bottom? Why didn't you just build another shipyard down there? And it's like, well, where'd you get the materials to build the shipyard? Yeah, autosave is set for once per hour. It needs to be that long because it takes quite a bit of time to save the game, and it's heading towards a gig of a save file. So while I would certainly welcome saving the game, in case something happened, you know, Transport Fever is just historically a very stable game. I mean, if you want to make it unstable, load up a bunch of mods and let one of them cause a problem.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
even that, it's pretty good. It has some sort. It has they built a little bit of thing that goes through some of the mods and checks to let you know whether it might be an issue or not. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't just open up a bunch of ports and go, okay, hey, let's see what happens. Hmm. Well, I would say we need more of these because we have 1,256 pieces of crude oil waiting to be moved, and I bought 3 ships, and they can hold 130 each. So,
Mm.
but I'll buy more as the refineries are actually using the oil further down the line. I mean, again, it's the Mississippi River series, so if there's a chance to put traffic on the river, I do it. Could I just as well run a train? Yeah, actually, I built the train track initially, and then I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be using the river. Delete, 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 delete. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's after announcing several times, yeah, we got to start working on the oil production. We're going to haul it to here and then send it upriver and then produce, refine it, and ship it back down from there. And like there's a whole process to this. And then when it came time to build, I was like, railroad tracks everywhere. And then, luckily, I remembered and deleted them. But yeah, this is definitely a tank farm. Plus, one of the things I got to work on is as as the lines expand,
Yeah.
the deadheading will become a lot smaller. Like right now, I'm taking crude oil north on the river and then deadheading back. Well,
Mm-hmm.
once I get the refinery built out and detailed, then it'll be going across the river to get processed uh, into fuels, um, and some of it will leave the crude oil refinery by train to go out to the chemical plants. But with all that going on, I'll at least have the refined the crude into oil to take across to the fuel facility.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that's done, then it'll be you know all the trains that leave out of there, or the barges that take it north and south on the river. So it will it'll definitely be interesting. Yeah, these lighthouses, I put them down just to have lighthouses on the river.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here sailing towards yet another one, and it's like, that is so cool, those sparkle effects on the water. And it's like, sparkle effects. Oh, frame rate. I'll be coming for you.
Yep.
you know, which is a shame, because then I'll probably just have to go find a lighthouse without a light. I wonder if I could turn the light off. Not that I would turn it off now, but for future.
Mm-hmm.
No, it does not. And the light rotates. I'm sure when I put this in, I said things like, ooh, ah. Now I just noticed that the lighthouses aren't named. So now I gotta go name them. There is no one waiting to go to Memphis from New Orleans, and no one waiting to go to St. Louis. Like, here's another one of these songs with some really cool music. And it's like I'm sitting here listening to it, and it's like, so this girl is singing, ooh, yeah, on a cold night. And it's like, I know, that can't be what she's saying. It's like, yeah, but I can't figure out any other thing she's saying. When you look it up, there is no lyrics online for this thing.
Hmm.
So, like, there's a song that I've been listening to on here for months where it's clams for the newlyweds. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's not. Yeah, but that's what I hear. So, if I'm sitting here singing the song, I'm singing clams for the newlyweds. Okay, so this is the Memphis Lighthouse. That's more to this side, though. And I asked the family, and they're long tired of me not being able to identify lyrics in a song properly.
Just tell them you got LDD.
Well, I mean, it's not a matter of hearing. It's just, I think it's a matter of interpretation, maybe. All right, this is the St. Louis Lighthouse. I mean, how many songs have you ever listened to and been like, are they really saying, booger, booger, booger dance? What? No, man, it's not. They're not saying the word booger at all. It's like, well, that's what I hear. They're saying boogaloo. It's electric boogaloo. Like, okay, well, booger is a word, and boogaloo is, I don't think it is a word. It's like, yeah, just stop listening to the song. Like, it's definitely, this can't be Davenport. Well, there's Davenport. Um, for somebody watching this right now, I'm just taking a trip from New Orleans up to St. Paul to fix all the lighthouses to give them proper names. And, just the scale of this map when I've done these for people. I get these chat messages that just, like, on one hand, I'm like, they're impressed and that's great to hear. And then I get like these other messages like, this is a series for a really weirdo, man. I can't invest the time. Like, it is kind of funny because it's like, look, man, you don't have to join my religion. This isn't Scientology. But, like, I don't know if they're expecting to see a series one and done quicker or something. Oh, man, if we could put some rocks here, that would look cool. Get some rocks in here, just a few. this up just a little bit. Just a touch. There, oh, that's way better. Just a touch up.
Player connected. Exile.
Dubuque. When the hell did I put a town named Dubuque on the map? Oh wait, it's got a bus service. It's got train service. It's got cargo being delivered to it. I actually had an episode called, Dubuque Decision Day. Hoping to sucker college kids into watching my video of that episode. Because the question was, how are we going to get people in and out of Dubuque? By train or by ferry? The answer was, we'll bring cargo in by ferry, but we'll bring passengers in by train. And then, in the end, I still put a cargo stop in here, too. So, I didn't even stick to my decision. Interesting. Bum, bum. Does a lighthouse have to have big old bouldery rocks around it?
Is it out in the river?
Well, let's say it's on the shoreline.
You might still want to have them because, those rivers do meander over time.
You know what? That's an interesting point. I wasn't even thinking about that, and that's what we talked about earlier. I was thinking about the construction of the lighthouse. Did they do some digging or, something in the area to create the location where the foundation of the lighthouse went in.
I would think that it would really depend on how long they figure the thing's going to last. If they're figuring on putting it up and coming back in 20 years and having to rebuild it, then maybe they just, slap it together. But if they want it to stay for a while, I would think that they'd want to get a good foundation under it.
Do you think there was a period of time where people were building things not expecting them to be sitting there forever?
Well, not in the old days, probably, because I think they were more build it to last than, the throwaway society that we live in now.
I see. I wonder how. Oh man, I just spent all my money. See, that's what happens. I'm sitting here doing some goofy detailing, and I just spent $619 million just fixing a cliff on the
Holy
side of the map. That's why every time I click on this button, I call it the "Take All My Money" tool.
Yep.
It will definitely it will rob you of all your money. And the answer on some of these is, this isn't like this is not a map edit choice. This is somebody was a viewer made a comment about, you know, I live near Cedar Rapids. I don't remember, cliffs like that. And then I have to remind
Hmm.
them. It's like, well, what is the scale at which you're referring to? Because I've gone online while we're talking, and I'm like, what's the highest point near Cedar Rapids? And it's like, oh, it's 40 meters. And it's like,
You're not from around here, are you? 40 meters.
yeah, well, I mean, but if you have people that go, there's nothing tall here. It's like, well, first off, your entire town is, 50 meters or 250 or whatever meters above sea level. You know, you don't realize it because you're standing on the planet Earth. And it's like, you know, do you think that the Cedar Rapids doesn't rotate around the sun also? You know, so like, what is your visual scale? So I mean, there is that, and then the other problem is, you know, well, how far do you think it is from your house to the Mississippi River? And then you tell me how high the Mississippi River is. You know, so I mean, at some point, I have to have elevation on the map, and the answer can't be, well, why don't you just have a slope everywhere? It's like, because then where's the challenge of making it up and down a cliff? You know, um, all right, we'll have to finish this later. I have to make a note to myself that I screwed up the trying to fix the cliffs south of Davenport. And as part of it, I let the game take $619 million out of my bank account. Ironically, I could have just used the grass tool and painted this big sloping cliff here green, and it would have been hidden. So it's like, well, why didn't you use that one? It's like, well, because I had $619 million in the bank, guys.
I thought I had enough money.
Yeah, and see, I didn't utter the phrase. I have for the longest time always said every time I open that tool, utter the phrase, let's pull out the take all my money tool. Because I have found that if I say it, it, it puts me back in the perspective of, yeah, man, be careful. This thing is going to take all your money. And I forget. I also don't think people are aware. I feel that human beings have a problem with elevation measurement. And my evidence for this is, well, I mean, it's from small arms training, but also from any weapons training. There's always there's always a problem with people hitting something above ground. You know, Okay, kitchen emergency is averted. Did the person that joined you stick around, or did they leave already?
They just put something into the Discord chat that I didn't catch.
Huh.
Let me see if they're still in game here. Yes, they're still here. Are you telling them? Open your helmet.
That is an interesting question. So the Alpha Shipyard server is no suits. That means you don't have a spacesuit, and it also means you don't have a jetpack. So if you're on, if you think you can start on the moon,
You're out of luck.
well, yeah, because first off, the rover does not include any sort of drilling drill. I mean, we could certainly go put one on it. If
It
we,
doesn't have a oxygen system on it, does it?
yeah, it does.
It does. Player disconnected. Exile.
They chickened out. Okay. And here would be my honest opinion on this whole issue. Is the game settings up way, way too hard and no one can do it? The answer is, so you can't start on the moon. Start somewhere else and then go to the moon and try and survive on the moon. Let's see if you can do that. You know, I mean...
Yep. Well, since this mod was created before PerTam was added, correct? I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
And so the user guide does not include any useful information about PerTam as to what resources it has and that type of stuff. But I would think that PerTam is very similar to the Earth-like planet, except it's got a little higher gravity, and so it should have the same materials that the Earth-like planet has, as far as oil sands and niter and that other stuff that is not available out here where I'm at. But I don't know, because there's no way to actually confirm that.
Well, and that is another difference on the server. Alpha Shipyard is using an alternative build engine. So, somebody does They do have to learn how to use
Industrial overhaul.
yeah. Sorry, I'm building at the same time, and
Okay.
I
Yeah.
paused
And
for
they also have to work out how to use eat, sleep, drink, repeat,
yes, there is
or
that also.
each,
Yes,
whichever way it goes.
yeah. Eat, sleep, drink, repeat. But yeah, those are all, you know, they're all valid issues. I mean, this is an 8-track station already. Okay, this stream has been going on for 3 hours 15 minutes. We have gotten 2 oil fields delivering oil to the Atchafalaya terminal. Atchafalaya terminal. And we've got barges bringing the oil upriver. So, how much does a full load of crude make? 781,000. So, how did we get here? How did we get all the way over here? Oh, it must have popped up and said Nashville wanted something different. That was a huge jump across the map. Alright, here we are. Down here. Alright, so we've got to get this refinery detailed. And then the train station here. Because... Alright, so this is oil field 4. And way back here is oil field 3, which has been renamed to the Beaumont field. So the Beaumont field is going to come up here. Here's oil field 4, and here's field number 5 outside of Shreveport. All of those need to deliver crude into here. Now the question is, do we send it down here just to use this terminal? And I think we're using the terminal. We got 2 of the 5 oil fields going here. I mean, we could send Beaumont there. We'd have to go... We could make this... If we get up to here, we can come across this. stay at this height, and then we come down here. So we could bring Beaumont down here. But, I mean, it would be very artificial to take Field 4 and Field 5, which, I mean, they're right here at the terminal in the refinery. So I think they just all come into here. So we have 3 more oil wells to detail. Yeah, you definitely have to make a decision, because this is not a short trip. Yeah, but there's freight that has to come down here to Beaumont. Yeah, that's their problem. This is a very lengthy trip. Yeah. And we could probably daisy chain Beaumont to Field 4, have it pick up at each field. And then we could tie Field 5 into the chemical plant. So it picks up from here, goes to chemical, and on its way to Deadhead back, it grabs this crude to go back. I'd buy that. All right, well, let's set up the line. 2. Did we already call it Beaumont Field? Yes, we did. All right, so let's change Beaumont Field then. She can use either platform. After Beaumont, she's going to stop off here to do a pickup. She cannot unload. She's only going to pick up crude. Okay. Okay, when she leaves Vidalia, she's going to drive through Shreveport and come up here. All right, so Field 5. She's loading crude. And then she's delivering oil. Yep, okay. we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to detail. And then we've got to get over to here. 6 to detail. So we've got 6 more things to detail. Can you make the port line up? Yay, catchment. Cool. Okay. Well, we've got Beaumont, 4, 5, the Shreveport Chemical Plant. We've got the Vidalia Refinery. And then we've got the Natchez Fuel Facility. Count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we've detailed 3 today, and we got 6 more to go. Holy cow. And we did 3. It took us 3.5 hours. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be a good point to stop. And please join us on Discord. Discord, D-I-S-C-O-R-D. There's the link. Yeah, or storepapa.com. All right. Catch you, I think, in a day or 2. I'll have to check the calendar.